Battle Born Bets, episode number 7. Joined once again by my bestest of friends, John Howard, Robert Ginter. Guys, it's reason enough to celebrate for us to be in to episode number 7. But even better, we're into episode number 7 alive. We're all alive. Rob, you had the one pick. You still have that one pick. We'll touch on that in your psychological thought process with one selection all the way through to this point. John, you had 3. You now have 1. I had 10, and I'm down to 4. And somehow I feel like I should be giving myself a pat in the back for some reason. But either way, guys, with week number 6 gone by, we thought that there would be not as much as week 5's carnage, but 228 selections were eliminated. 4,418 survive into week number 7. Everyone with 9 or 10 picks, for those that had that, they got through week 6 unscathed. One person that had 7 entries dumped them all on the Dallas Cowboys. Sayonara. Sorry about that. They're gone. But we've got an awful lot to cover. So I want to just go right ahead and just jump right into week number 7. You know, I had a feeling that at some point at this time, we're probably kicking sand in the face of a couple of teams. Maybe we're the school bully. John, what did you find here through 6 weeks? Are we picking on anyone here in particular? Is there someone that we just keep kicking sand in the face of 6 weeks into this incredible tournament?
Yeah, for sure. I went back just for fun this week to look at our entries collectively to see who we're picking on, like what NFL teams we're going against. So RG, I looked at yours is easy. I'm sure you can figure out, but you know that what teams did you pick on the most the first 6 weeks?
I think the Titans. If I had to say.
Nope. You've gone against Carolina twice and the Saints twice.
Oh, okay.
And the Giants. So that I don't think look if I'm up,
I didn't even go for against the Jets.
You haven't picked on the Titans yet.
I have not. Okay.
No. The Panthers twice, the Saints twice, the Bengals once, and the Cardinals once.
Okay. So you can't arrive at any kind of conclusion from my 6 picks.
Right. You're just finding the place to just land and just go ahead and dump on it.
Now, what about yours, John? I'm curious.
So
across all of your entries, actually, if there's a common thread.
Well, no, yeah, I only went back to Rob's is a little more interesting than ours because I only have one. So I went back just to our live entries.
Okay.
So my live entry, I picked on New Orleans 3 times.
Okay.
I've picked on Cincinnati twice and the Giants once.
And never the Jets, and they're 0-6.
Yeah, and I haven't picked on them. So what's interesting is Rob Kowalski's the bold. So with their 4 remaining selections, what team do you think that Rob has picked on the most?
I think I know.
I'm going to say the Saints.
You think it's the Saints? I think the team that I've been picking on the most is probably the Browns. I'll say the Browns.
Nope. You picked on the Carolina Panthers 5 times.
Oh my God.
What?
So it's very interesting because the Rob's Ginter's highest is the Panthers twice, and they have 3 wins.
Exactly.
Well, I think it was the first 2 weeks. If we look back at
mine's the Saints, they only have 1 win, and Rob's is Bold Razors with their 4 entries that are remaining. Have picked on Carolina 5 times. They picked on Cincinnati 4 times.
Okay.
The Saints 3 times, and the Jets 3 times.
Okay.
Give me all of these metrics. I love it.
So in other words, you've had stones where John and I have not.
Yeah, so Panthers 5 times, Bengals 4 times, Saints 3, Jets 3, Titans twice, Raiders twice, Giants twice, Browns twice, and the Ravens once.
So says exactly.
And the Ravens was the week that Lamar went down, and they got thrashed by Houston in all likelihood.
James Thrash.
So to tie this all up into a little into a knot here, I guess it goes back honestly to like what we were talking about last week. Like, who are the best teams in this league? And do we think it's easier right now to identify teams we're picking against?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like where we're headed here. And, a lot of these best teams now have like, who are the best teams? Is it Detroit? Is it Kansas City? You could probably
I think it's a week-to-week proposition, honestly.
Yeah. And those, the Chiefs have a pretty tough schedule moving forward after this week. I think they're going to win this week, but the Lions do too. So I guess to just wrap up this segment real quick, not to bore anybody, but I think you just have to play to your entry. Whatever we have left here going forward, we're just going to have to play towards our entry and hope for the best.
I absolutely love that. That is really great. And here I am about to saying, again, it's what I've been saying for like the last almost month. Who's good?
Right.
It's not about that. It's
I don't
about
know
who's bad.
good.
It's about who's bad.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, if you would have told me it was the Carolina Panthers, who are 3-3, right? I bring that up again. Are the Panthers good? I don't know. I mean, they've beaten 3 teams already, and we thought that they were going
handily
30-0, 30-0.
Cowboys.
So
I mean, the Cowboys are garbage. Honestly,
are they? I don't know.
Well, we know their defense is awful.
The defense is awful, right? They give up a ton of points, but they've scored a ton. So now Washington and Dallas, Dallas wins this game against Washington, and they're hosting Washington. It's only 1.5. There's a 2.5 at DraftKings. Washington is, but we'll get to that game a little bit later. I have a couple other thoughts on, again, the psychological mindset of entering a survivor pool, knowing you have one pick, and we are now 7 weeks in. So I want to get to that. But again, the things that we're looking at here, as you're viewing us and joining us once again, thank you again, by the way, for everyone joining us and seeing the metrics that we're using and the analyses that we're finding. John, thank you for pulling that up, because I didn't find that. I'm sure I could have if I dug a little bit deeper on the portal that we're looking at now, is Survivor Atlas. What I was constantly looking at is what the average EV is, right? You want to be below 1.000. That's showing that you're actually looking for a pick that has future value instead of something that's just the easy, automatic biggest favorite on the board, where you're along the ride with the entire hive mind. So I'm at 0.983. Not I'm not the one that's taking the biggest shots. Those that are taking, the Raiders, for example, last week, which I wasn't going to end up doing that at all. So we take a look here. So John, you're at 1.008. You're pretty much, and it makes sense, right? You've got one pick, right? So it makes sense for here. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the right tab. Here it is. You're at 1.008, which makes sense, being that you have one pick left. Your average point spread of your selections is 8, almost a little more than 8.
So that's kind of chalky.
Kind of chalky, right? Whereas I was slightly below that, 0.983. My average spread is 7.2 because of how many
variety
picks that I have. Rob, let's take a quick look at you here. Let's go to the overview. So there you go, 1.028. Your average spread, yeah. So you're just looking for the biggest chalk that you can right now. But I can't blame you guys.
But
I can't blame you.
I think that's driven by the last couple of weeks, though. The first 3 weeks, I put myself in a good position with Jacksonville, Arizona, and Seattle.
Yeah.
And then Buffalo and Detroit were the biggest favorites the last 2 weeks. So then Indianapolis this week was pretty big as well.
100% agree. 100%. So look, okay, we're into week 7. We are an hour or so before kickoff. It's going to, those of you that are tuning into this episode, you're probably not going to see us talk about anything that has yet happened, because we're recording this an hour before kickoff of Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. But guys, let's start off with what I always love to start off with. Ownership percentage, popular picks versus contrarian angle predictions. The Steelers, as I'm looking now, I mentioned, Rob, just before we went live, Circa went 4.5. It's pretty much 5.5, 5 at Bet365. It's a 4.5 at Circa. Steelers are on the road on a Thursday night in a division game, right? All the things that you say to yourself, how could we possibly take this entry on a Thursday night? And yet, here we are. Rob, let's start off with you. How many are going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, first, let me preface by saying a lot of the fireworks started happening on Thursday night when the division game started hitting, when we saw 49ers upset the Rams on the road.
Yep.
And then the Giants taking care of the Eagles mighty handily.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say less than 10%. So I'm going to say 8 to 9%.
Very
Is
good.
where I see Pittsburgh being slotted.
Okay, John, we've been seeing this game forever. 4-1. It makes no sense, but we constantly look at all of these trends against Tomlin or the Steelers. Yeah, at this point, I've decided I'm done with what I had handicapped preseason, and I'm working off of the last month and a half of pro football. At this point, a 4-1 team playing an absolutely dismembered Cincinnati Bengals team. No, you don't want to take. Okay, it's a different story if you've got 1 pick versus 4 picks versus 10 picks. But what percentage do you feel ownership is going to be on the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight?
I'm going to go a little bit higher than Rob. I'm guessing I have 12% written down. And the only reason I'm going higher on some of these teams is the Kansas City Chiefs factor. They're the highest rated team this week, and in this contest, I mean, if in your regular Joe Schmo Survivor contest,
I took Kansas City in that one, by the way, already this week. Because I don't have to sweat. I could sweat it and forget it because I don't have to make a pick on the holiday. That's huge.
In Circa, they're the holiday team, so on Christmas and Thanksgiving, you can use both.
You want to have as many options at your disposal as you can, then, because we see how cyclical the season is, from a week-to-week perspective now.
Yep.
You figure you've blown up your preseason roadmap already, like you said, Rob.
Like in my case, I've already used Detroit and I've already used Green Bay, so I've already taken away one Thanksgiving game.
I used Detroit in one of mine as well. I did not use Green Bay.
So, you have Kansas City on Thanksgiving slate, and then you have them on the Christmas slate too. So, I mean, can you take them this week? Sure, if you have a plan. Then the other plan would be to take Philadelphia or Baltimore on Thanksgiving, and then you could conceivably take Washington on Christmas. So I looked at that too, but do you want to put yourself in the position this week taking Kansas City where you're hamstringing yourself down the road? I
think there's other options that are far more attractive, taking all those things into consideration.
So I think there's going to be a higher percentage on Pittsburgh tonight than people think. I'll go with 12%. That'll be my number.
I like that. I think I'll go higher as well. So I'll pick about 12%. I think is a really nice number. So John and I will both go higher than the forecast.
So I guess I got the under. I got the under.
Rob will take the under here on the Thursday night game.
Well, just because it's a division game and it's Joe Flacco and it's, they actually looked, I don't know if it's Green Bay looking as bad as they did, but Cincinnati did not look that bad.
Yeah, it didn't look that bad. I thought, John, did you sweat at all? Did you sweat at all on Sunday? You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Down 6.
I'll tell. Here's another thing, guys. Honestly, I watched that whole game. Green Bay is
overrated.
I'm telling you, they double team Parsons. If it wasn't for Hendrickson, I talked to Rob about this before we started the call. I thought once Hendrickson went down, that defense just went to crap. Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But Jacobs was running all over that team. I think Jordan Love makes some questionable decisions. He made a very bad interception in the red zone early in that game, and then he had another pass to the sideline. Like, what is he doing on this play?
Think about how many entries Green Bay's knocked out this year by losing.
They lost week 3 in Cleveland.
Right.
Locked out one of my selections.
And then the tie with Dallas.
They're gonna knock out more people.
Right.
People think they're gonna win.
Are you almost happy that you already took them in a spot where you don't have to worry about that anymore?
I'm glad I've cleared Green Bay. Yeah. So they're a good team, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about them I was like, that Flacco went right to Flacco couldn't hit the back of a barn in the first half, and then all of a sudden Jamar Chase and Higgins is getting involved, and so I mean they found a solution in this. I could see tonight him being good too. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. That's why they'll.
Well, does Pittsburgh fall in that same camp? Are they
good
of good fortune? Are they as good as we think they are? Or
we're gonna find out in about 4 hours. So.
But what do you think before the game starts? I'm curious where you guys are at in terms of Pittsburgh.
I would have loved to have taken them tonight if I had the Stones to do it, but I can't go there. I think there's some other teams that are in a better spot. So we'll see. But it's a hard pass for me.
I would not stay comfortably, even with the 4 picks. I would not want to take even one on Pittsburgh.
Really? Okay.
This is not a spot that I'd be comfortable with. I could probably see a lot far more spots on the map that I could take Pittsburgh.
Well, take a look at their path quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's the item that I'm concerned about is not so much, are there better spots? Of course there are. I mean, so here's the question, right? You figure you could play them tonight on a Thursday night as a 5.5-point favorite hosting Cincinnati. Well, you could say, oh, well, why don't you play them in week 11 against Cincinnati? They'll be 8.5. Well, but today that Pittsburgh is healthy. They're all there. They're all ready to go. You know that Cincinnati's not good. And you know that they've got third stringers playing in some cases. So they're not going to be up to par with what might happen in week 11. When else could you take Pittsburgh?
So Miami, week 15.
Okay, so week 15, so we're reaching out that far.
Right.
But that's it.
You're right.
That's it.
Maybe that number will be higher just based on
it was just like the Raiders last week. That was your spot to take them. If you missed it, you're out.
You are not taking
but the Raiders had 0 options after this. I'd argue that Pittsburgh has a couple, including that Cincinnati game at home.
No, you're right. You're right.
All of this, as we're seeing once again, brought to us by our friends at Survivor Atlas. Absolutely not a paid advertisement. Just thanks, guys, because it gives us all the great data that we could share with everybody else as we make our way week after week after week. So here's this big glaring number that I keep staring at. And this is insane because no one thought that the Patriots would be in such a spot where you could take them pretty much in multiple weeks. John Howard, the New England Patriots are projected to be taken by 37% of the pool. A 7-point favorite. That's pretty much been the opening number at Tennessee. Tennessee's lost 5 of 6 games. No coach. It's been there's been everything that we needed to talk about. Tennessee has been there. It's the return of former coach. So is this the spot that you think that New England is best played here, or do you sit more comfortably thinking it's Kansas City? So let's start off with the first part of this, John. 37% of the pool on New England, over or under that number?
A little under, probably closer to like 30. I do think they'll be the highest selected team this week.
Great. Okay.
Just because of the whole Kansas City holiday factor that we just discussed. But I mean, this game scares you a little bit. It wouldn't have scared me as much if the coach didn't get fired this week, Callahan. I think there's an element to that the team's going to come out motivated, somewhat more motivated. But additionally, on the other side, Vrabel's coming back, and he's going to want to give it to that team real good. So I do like the Patriots. But additionally, I think the Patriots do have the next few weeks, if you look at their schedule there, it looks somewhat favorable. So, yes, it's a good spot to take them, but at the same time, you
probably have the Jets somewhere in there too, right? Week 11.
I think they get Cleveland next week.
Yes, they do.
Lots of spots. You could lay 7 to Cleveland at home.
Yeah.
They're hosting, of course, they're hosting the Jets week 11, hosting the Giants week 13, and then Miami in week 18. I mean, imagine this. Imagine you've cleared Christmas, guys. You've cleared it. And now you've got New England week 17 as your choice there, laying 5, maybe even more, because New England's probably at this point playing for a playoff spot, unlike Buffalo, right? So you're laying 5.
We don't know with Buffalo. You
don't know about Buffalo.
The wheels fell off that bus pretty quickly.
Are they good? Are they good?
Well, I'm going to throw another nugget out, John, and that kind of like echoes your sentiment about the firing of a coach. I did some research on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT told me that of the last 31 games, a team that's fired their coach the following week has gone 16-15. So if you feel good about 50% odds, have at it.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's the Titans too, but no, I get it.
I mean, you got the Vrabel revenge angle there too. They fired him.
Sure.
So I mean,
I would have felt a lot better if they didn't fire the coach this week. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh man.
Maybe that was done by design.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was. Rob, so New England projected 37% by the guys of Survivor Atlas. John says lower, but still the number one selected team this week. How do you feel with this spread here? Take a look at Kansas. Let's start off with Kansas City here before we get down to option 3. But Kansas City, 24% of the pool is projected to take them in spite of them being a double holiday team. Do you find, let's start off with Kansas City first, 24% higher or lower? And then how does that affect your New England number of 37%?
I think it's going to be fractionally lower, but more like 19 to 20%.
Okay.
I think there's a school of thought thinking, well, let's just survive week to week. To hell with the future. You know, the whole point of this is to go week to week. So I think a lot of people will end up taking Kansas City in this spot.
So, okay, wow, this is so higher Kansas City than lower New England?
Yes.
Okay. Does Kansas City become the number one
No,
selected team?
That will not be the case.
Okay.
I don't see any of them going over 30%.
Yeah, that's the big question here. New England
I see Chicago and Denver probably a little bit higher than they are, and even Green Bay to a degree.
I don't know, man. Is New England good? Is New England good? I don't know. I mean, it's
not about New England good. Do the Titans stand a chance to win?
All right.
Without some divine intervention like happened in Arizona.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the whole point there. So I guess we can start to look at things from a wrap-up perspective. I know we like to typically look at our top 5 selections each week, but I think as we're now into week 7, and what I wanted to just have a final segment on is, John, you have one pick. Rob, you have one pick. I want to see if I can make you guys uncomfortable here, right? So let's say that you had to choose one of the following this week, and you have no way around it. Are you more comfortable taking Philadelphia, for example? I know, just play with me here because I know Philadelphia's got so many other spots here. But, for example, Philadelphia, a 2-point favorite in Minnesota. Carolina as a 1.5 point favorite in New York against an 0-6 team, New York Jets. I mean, or San Francisco, right? So San Francisco's 4-2. Yeah, they're playing Atlanta. There's injuries everywhere. Is there a team here that you guys are comfortable saying they are not the usual suspect on a week-to-week basis, but I'd have to take this pick? Like, where are we thinking now with one pick left? Is it at this point, and by the way, we're starting to look at each week, and it's the fun thing to do. What's the value of your selection? At one point, we're going to have to say, all right, guys, do you want to post this up on the market and sell it? Like, what's your number at some point? But John, let's start with you here. Is there a pick that you would say, yeah, I could be comfortable taking, Cleveland here, or Chicago? We didn't even talk about Chicago and the New Orleans Saints, who are 1-5. Carolina. Are we still happy kicking sand in these faces of teams that just are just futile this year? Or are we saying, nope, Kansas City, New England?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is another dangerous week, but to feel comfortable, no. Mm-hmm. To go to the window or push the button or whatever we have to do. Yeah, it's interesting you brought up Chicago. Like, I know I talked to Rob earlier this week to see what the weather's going to be Sunday in Chicago. I mean, the
rainy
Saints,
and 57.
The Saints are a dome team. Maybe the Bears are a little bit of a better selection if the weather doesn't cooperate. Something to think about. I think the Bears are in play. I think I feel most comfortable with the Patriots this week. I hate to say it, but again, it's going back to this. Staying away from Kansas City. I wish, the holiday weeks throw a wrinkle in this contest. So you have to be really strategic. If they weren't involved, I'd be all over Kansas City this week. But
and that's exactly the point there. And so we're seeing it. And early in the season, we said, oh, you got to be concerned about holiday. I'm like, no, you really don't. No, you do. And now guess what? Now we're like, not too that far over the horizon. And Thanksgiving's not too far away. Rob, Kansas City, you got one pick. The Chicago Bears are playing at home. They have practically no future value. Forget about the fact that they play on Thanksgiving for a minute. Do you feel enough skrankas here to take Chicago, or are you like, I can't do it? Let me take the safest possible selection here.
No, I feel okay with Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I even feel okay with Carolina, honestly. I mean,
yes.
There's certain things that just don't pass the eye test. And if you've watched the Jets, they are horrendous. John, and I know you watch them every week.
Yeah.
Their defense was good last week, they almost won that game.
I think that's more of a byproduct of Denver being really bad.
I'm not being a fan here, but I think the Jets have a chance to win this game. So,
well, I mean, I had this conversation with you over text last week. You know, you said, where do they win? And I'm like, do they go 0-16? And you're like, no, they win 3 games. And then we look at the schedule. We're like, which ones? And then you said Carolina.
Carolina was
this
one.
is it. Yeah.
I mean, do you have the set to take the Jets?
Oh,
that's madness.
People have been taking them in circa the last few weeks. Just the fringe, one selection at the end.
Yeah, right. I mean,
someone picked them last week, so
right.
That you take a shot.
Well, those people are long gone out of the pool.
Someone picked the Titans that week that they won in Arizona. So
I'm sorry, I just don't see.
And that guy, I went back and looked. He has 1 selection. 1. I mean, that's insanity. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I have to go back and look.
Is the guy drunk? Give another round of applause because on our X account at Battleborn Bets, we had 5,800 views on our last episode.
Yes, so, I will.
Give another round of applause for that.
Give me some of that. Yes. Thank you all for checking us out and seeing what we're doing here. As we're into week 7, and we're handicapping our way into what is expected to be a perfect run. All we've got to do it is just 14 more times, gentlemen. That's it. So, Rob, okay, interesting point there. Let me go back to the forecast page here. It is very likely that you're taking Chicago. I'm impressed by that. Me with 4 picks, I'm absolutely going to have a selection on Chicago, 1 on Kansas City, 1 on New England. That 4th pick is going to probably be the wild card. I'm leaning right now at.
Can I guess?
Possibly, yes.
Can I guess?
Of course.
Green Bay.
Nope.
Denver.
Really?
Yes. Denver.
Can we,
really?
can we
it's between
Denver for 2 minutes?
It's between Denver and. You want to see the map, John?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So Denver here, laying 7. Could take them in week 8, 4.5 at Dallas.
No, hardly any future value.
Yeah. Week 10, they'll be hosting Vegas, 8-point favorites.
Division game, though.
So that's it. The math says it.
Mm-hmm.
What do I know about math, though? So I'm looking there. If it's not going to be them, I might lean even towards Seattle. That is.
Yeah, but if you take a look at Green Bay's path,
yeah,
they're not viable in many other spots. Even though the future value says what it says.
Yeah, you could probably see an ocean of picks on them here in week 9.
Well, perhaps
Carolina. There's not many people left, by the way. Also, that you only see only 42%.
Well, that's part of it as well.
As Green Bay, they can't take them.
You're almost built in to be contrarian if you take Green Bay there.
Correct.
You're only 43% left on Denver this week. So, what do you think?
Them too.
What do you think their projected popularity is this week?
I think it's going to be higher than what Atlas estimated. I think it was 6.
Okay.
Was it 6% or 9?
I'm not gonna go back to it. What do you think is your number?
I'll go 8%.
I'm gonna go 9.
8, 9,
or 10. I'll go 10.
I think it's going to be significantly lower because I want to take them, so I'm being greedy. I'm going to say 4%. Let's see what the forecast says. 4%. Come on.
Swami says what?
6%.
6%. Okay.
Well, these are projections, right? We'll have to see what happens at 4 p.m. Pacific. And on Saturday, John, you're going to be ringing the bells and letting us know how everyone's selections came across. I know I'll be very eagerly anticipating this week's picks. Hoping to see a lot on Pittsburgh tonight. Who knows? Maybe we're going to see some more chaos on Thursday night. But great points all. Look at this. We're already at the 30-minute mark. We can't stop talking, guys.
I know. 12 minutes. We're gonna have to.
Only 12 minutes. That's what I keep saying.
What are the odds of us going over 12 minutes? What are you setting the line at?
Always. It's off the board. Off the board. So this is great, guys. Once again, thank you so much for hopping on in. It's a Thursday night recording. We'll have this up so everyone could check it out before the weekend begins and see if maybe we can find us into week number 8, all of us unscathed. I want to again thank you all so much for joining us here. Thanks again to our friends over at Survivor Atlas. All such great data. And guys, tune in again next week as we go in to week 7 and beyond. It's been really great. Thanks again. For John Howard, for Rob Ginter, I'm your host, Robert Kowalski, here at Battleborn Bets. Thank you all so much. See you again next time.